Good morning, and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Baltimore. I'm Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson, and I will be conducting this morning's pre-service meditation. So let us begin by breathing, simply anchoring to the breath. Simply feeling the rise and the fall of the chest and abdomen with each inhalation and each exhalation. Keeping in mind that we are not forcing ourselves to breathe. This thing called breathing occurs whether we are consciously aware of it, present to it, or not. We are able to shop, to cook, to go for a walk, to do whatever it is that we are doing. And this body temple, which is intelligent enough to know how, takes care of this thing called breathing. And because we practice this thing called science of mind and spirit, we know ultimately that this breath is spirit, the universe, God, breathing itself as each one of us. So we breathe, simply surrendering to the process. Deepening our connection to that which we can never be disconnected from. We can never be disconnected from Source, Spirit, God. But we breathe and go deeper to recognize this connection. We go deeper to be more aware of this connection. We go deeper to be more actively engaged with this connection. And what we find is that the more aware we are of the connection to the truth of our being, the more power, the more presence, the more purposeful is our living, moving, and having our beingness in the world. What we find is that no matter what is occurring within our life experience, we bring the full awareness of spirit wherever we are to whatever we are doing. So when we are cooking, we recognize that the full expanse of the universe that is incarnating itself right here and right now is engaged in this process called cooking. It is God engaging in the process, because what it is expressing itself in, through, and as all that we are and all that everything is. So there is no simple pot and pan, but it is now recognized to be an expression of the divine in that form. There is no more simply getting on a bike, because we recognize that that bike must also be what it is, it being spirit. So there is no car devoid of God. There is no bike that is separate from spirit. There is no coat or hat or shirt, chair that is separate from the all that is. And so not only do we bring this awareness of our truth to every situation and circumstance, but we bring this awareness to every relationship. The relationship we have with the tree in the front yard, the relationship we have with the neighbor's dog, the relationship we have with the keyboard connected to the computer, the relationship we have with each ingredient in our spice rack, the relationship we have when our feet touch the ground as we walk, the relationship we have as the air caresses our face. We recognize this divine relationship is all there is. God experiencing itself, relating to itself, appreciating itself, loving itself, in, through, and as everything. So we breathe and we recognize, we breathe and we envision how magnificent, how talented, how blessed, how beautiful we truly must be to be made of the very same things that all of creation is made of. The infinite I am, the thing itself, the one life. That there is nothing that is not it. Of course, we are made in the image and likeness of There is only what it is, only that divine power and presence. So we breathe in celebration of this knowing, this recognition, this realization. Each breath, each thought, each word, each feeling, and each action. A demonstration of that which spirit is. And with each breath, we go deeper to know more of who and what we are. We get to know ourselves more fully. Even as we grow and shift and change, our hearts remain open, open to evolving, open to learning, open to shifting, open to surrendering, open. Our consciousness open at the top, open at the bottom, receiving and expressing all that we are as spiritually magnificent, divinely magnificent expressions of the One. Breathing in the gratitude, because how great it feels to know that we must therefore be smart enough, talented enough, capable enough to live, move, have our beingness, to co-create, create, demonstrate, manifest, whatever words are most comfortable, but to know that we are in divine union with that which is never separate from itself. There is no yin without yang. There is no yang without yin. There is no God without itself. Inseparable, eternally one. And this oneness is demonstrating itself, manifesting itself, expressing itself, incarnating itself as you and me and all that is, right now and forever. The very beingness of who and what each of us is that eternality, the infinite power and presence. So we breathe, recognizing that this place where we are right now, this place where we always must be, is the dwelling place of the Most High, and that this Most High is precisely who and what you are. As Ernest Holmes said, there is a power for good in the universe, and you can use it. To which I have changed, there is a power that is infinite goodness itself. It is the very universe itself. And not only can you use it, but you are using it, and it is using you because it is you. That breath you take right now is the breath of God breathing itself as you. God right now as you meditating, remembering, reconnecting to the truth of its beingness as you. Reminding itself, I am not just a body. I am not just this person. I am not who and what society may have convinced me to be. I am that which is ever expanding consciousness. I am. And so we breathe. We breathe in joy and peace and ease and grace and power. There is a power that is good, infinite goodness. It is the universe itself, and it must be what I am. Breathe. It must be what I am. Breathe. The infinite power that is goodness itself must be what I am, and wherever I go, it must be. I bring this awareness of it to every encounter, every situation, every conversation, every conflict, every challenge. I bring this awareness that I am. I am that which it is, the thing itself, breathing itself as me. One mind, God, thinking these thoughts as me. The Word made flesh, speaking these words as me. Every circumstance, situation, encounter, it must be as I choose and breathe. I choose to bring health, wholeness, wellness, and healing to every situation and every circumstance. Recognizing that no matter what my eyes may perceive, the inner eye of the divine sees all. It sees itself. It sees its own wholeness, perfection, and completeness, and I surrender and allow its vision to be my vision. And breathe. Every worldly, earthly, humanly circumstance or challenge, I bring the awareness of the divine to it, and it must change. It must evolve. It must be transcended and transformed. And I breathe. I breathe knowing that I must be more powerful than I recognize or realize, and I surrender into it. I allow this to be the truth of my being with each breath and each thought and each word and each feeling. And I breathe. And I breathe. And as our meditation comes to an end, still I breathe. And so it is.
Hush now, little baby, go back to your sleep. And while you're there, maybe find your soul to keep. Find your soul to keep. Listen very closely. Listen close to me. Reality is blindness. Life lives in the trees. Life lives in the trees. Breathe it in, let it out. You know what it's like to live in love. Live in love. Go now, little baby. Go now on your own. Live in peace and kindness, queen of your own throne, king of your own throne. like. You know what it's like to live in love, live in love, live in love.
Good morning and happy Sunday. Woo! All right. In order to help with our new method of recording our service, we request that congregants and participants who are not speaking, performing, or interpreting to please turn cameras off until after service. At that time, all can come on camera to fellowship and share the love. Thank you for your cooperation. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Greater Baltimore's virtual service. I am Tracy Rhymes, your host. Today's speaker, who led the pre-service meditation, is Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson. Our musician is Sahffi Lynne. Assisting with making this service open, inviting, and accessible to the deaf community are our sign language interpreters, Dedra, Wilcher, and Sonya, Chavis. Holding things down, working behind the scenes is Jim Lefter. On behalf of Reverend Dr. Ray, thank you all for your service. Happy Mother's Day to all of you serving in that role. At CSL Greater Baltimore, every Sunday is an invite a friend or family member Sunday. Make sure you spread the love and invite someone to service. We would love to have them hang out with us. In this moment, in this breath, I know that God, Source, Spirit, the universe is all there is. And in this knowing, I know that I am one with this source. All that God is, I am. And I know that this service is perfect because God, Source, the universe is perfection itself. So it is with gratitude that I release this prayer into the law, knowing it is amazing. And so it is. The Center for Spiritual Living Greater Baltimore's community honors the world's religions. One tree, many branches. One mountain, many paths. One world, many religions and spiritual traditions. With the lighting of these candles on the first Sunday of each month, we not only honor each person on their select path, but we also bless them and recognize the light, the love, and the life-affirming nature of spirit as it shows itself in each path, in each practice, and in each person. In honor of Asian Pacific American Heritage Month, we honor Bill Watanabe. He is best known as the founding executive director of the Little Tokyo Service Center, serving culturally diverse communities in central Los Angeles with affordable housing help, social services, counseling, child care, small business support, and more. He is founder of the Little Tokyo Historical Society, helping preserve and promote the cultural and historic resources of this 130-year-old ethnic neighborhood facing the challenges of gentrification. He founded the Asian Pacific Community Fund, co-founded the National Coalition for Asian Pacific American Community Development, and the Asian for Miracle Marrow Matches, A3M, which has significantly helped to improve the chances of Asian Americans to obtain a life-saving bone marrow transplant. He also founded the Asian Pacific Islanders Americans for Historic Preservation, which organized the first ever National Asian American Conference on Historic Preservation, which has continued biannually since 2010. As co-founder of the Coalition to Abolish Slavery and Trafficking, Mr. Watanabe is dedicated to assisting those who have been trafficked to this country and to advocate for policies to eliminate this explorative practice. He is co-founder of the Asian Pacific Counseling and Treatment Center, the largest API counseling program in the nation, providing counseling in many different Asian languages and dialects. Breaking the barrier in Los Angeles County, which previously had not offered such counseling. Thank you, Mr. Watanabe. All right, we have some announcements for you. Are you ready? We currently have three weekly ongoing ways to study, learn, and discuss. First and third Monday nights, the Sacred Contracts Book Club, hosted by Nancy Rosenberg. Slide on down to Wednesday night, the Science of Mind textbook exploration group, facilitated by Reverend Dr. Ray. And summing things up on Thursday night, study group facilitated by practitioner Dr. Ronnie Ellington. The Discovery class is available online. Contact us at info@cslgreaterbaltimore.org or visit the website for more information on becoming a member of CSLGB. Sign up for the CSLGB newsletter, the CSLGB Facebook and Instagram pages, and get more news and information by visiting CSLGreaterBaltimore.org and CSLGreaterBaltimore.com. Interested in a community camping trip? A CSLGB getaway? Sue Italiano is checking to see if there is any interest. If so, send her an email, sueitaliano@gmail.com. The CSL Greater Baltimore Ministry of Education has upcoming classes. Foundations of Science of Mind, facilitated by Dr. Ronnie Ellington. If you are interested in taking foundations, contact Sue Monahan. Once 4 or more people express a desire, a Saturday class will be scheduled. Conversations about race. Racial literacy as a spiritual practice. Every second Wednesday of the month, 7 to 9 p.m. A year-long journey of experiencing racial literacy as a spiritual practice. As Centers for Spiritual Living holds the vision of creating a world that works for everyone as our beacon, our spiritual work is in examining our thinking, both our personal thoughts and those passed on to us in a collective, socialized manner. Required reading: A Race is a Nice Thing to Have. A Guide to Being a White Person or Understanding the White Persons in Your Life by Janet E. Helms. Love offerings gratefully accepted. For more information, contact practitioner Rebecca Arena Beal from CSL Columbia at 410-340-4805 or beat Bella358 at Comcast.net. Mental Equivalence with Reverend Chris Ashley, Senior Minister of Celebration Center for Spiritual Living, Falls Church, Virginia. Wednesdays, April 28th through May 26th, 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. All are welcome. Tuition, $170. Scholarships are available. Leap into a state of true potential by activating the powerful law of mental equivalence. For every formed thing in the universe, there is a corresponding mental image. Discover how to measure and expand thinking to create a larger mental image so that one's greatest desires may demonstrate. For the full class descriptions and more information, you are encouraged to visit the website cslgreaterbaltimore.org or cslgreaterbaltimore.com to find out more educational opportunities in ours and other communities we are partnered with. Would you like to receive a daily text and voicemail from Reverend Dr. Ray? If so, type JOIN to 833-663-9021 to begin receiving your daily inspirations. You'll be glad you did. For those of you joining us for the first time, and as a reminder to others, on the count of 3, we shout prayer works. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Prayer works. Woo! Yes, it does. We, as a community, continue to treat and move our feet, knowing the truth for everyone around the planet. Prayer requests can be sent at any time via email to info@cslgreaterbaltimore.org. All right. Our musician today, Sahffi Lynne, is an international singer, songwriter, and vocal coach whose mission is to offer her music and teachings as medicine to open and connect our collective heart. Woo! Her spirit-inspired performances and channeled original songs have taken her melodies around the world. And her own vocal ladder method of teaching singing has lifted her students' voices and souls. Sign up for monthly emails from Sahffi on her website, sahffi.com. Or subscribe to her YouTube channel for weekly new videos. Just search Sahffi. Take it away.
Thank you, Tracy. Good morning, everyone. Happy Mother's Day. Melt away, let go of your pain, and trust in the joy of your heart. See what you need to see, free what you need to free, be what you need to be, finding your love again. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Melt away, let go of your pain, and trust in the light of your heart. See what you need to see, free what you need to free, be what you need to be, finding your love again. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Melt away, let go of your pain, and trust in the love of your heart. See what you need to see, free what you need to free, be what you need to be, finding your lover again. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul.
Ah, thank you, Sahffi. Thank you, Sahffi. Thank you. All right. This month's theme is about revolutionary love. So today's reading comes from the February issue of the Science of Mind magazine about Mother Harriet by Reverend Andreette Earl. I invite you to contemplate what it means for you to have and to live a love so deep. In my mind's eye, I have a compelling vision of Harriet Tubman, small in stature, muscles taut from a lifetime of physical labor, fiercely passionate, ready, willing, and able. She was not frail. She was not demure. She was no nonsense, dedicated, and definitely up to what life required of her. In my heart's vision, Mother Harriet, as I call her, is an icon of pure love and amazing faith, willing to sacrifice her very life to liberate and save the lives of others. I am awed by her faith, the inner knowing and strength alive in her, and her courage to take all the risk she took. So many things about Harriet Tubman inspired and resonate with me. In my core, I feel a connection to an experience she had as an adolescent that biographers recount this way. She was in a dry goods store and she encountered a slave who had left the fields without permission. When the man ran, his overseer demanded she help intercept the runaway. Instead, she blocked the overseer's path. The overseer then threw a 2-pound weight that struck her in the head. That injury caused her to endure seizures, severe headaches, and narcoleptic episodes for the rest of her life. During these episodes, she said she experienced intense dream states, which she internalized as religious experiences, a deepening of her spiritual connection. Part of my own story is that I had double pneumonia as an infant. The doctors told my parents they had done all they could do to save me and that they would not take me home. My parents urged to christen me immediately. I always chuckle when I tell this story because we all already know how it turned out. But because of this experience and its retelling, I recorded this experience as a calling on my life. And I came to believe my life was to be lived with clear intent and that much was required of me. Each of us has something from which we too must break free. I know we can through faith, fortitude, focus, and a sense of inner freedom. We too can stand in the face of the impossible. As a Black woman at this point in my life, I can't not take a stand in the face of impossible. There is something inside each of us that knows nothing about. No, you won't. No, you can't. We must look above and beyond impossible. I have always had an infinity for people who are living beyond the legal, emotional, physical, mental constructs of the enslavement binding us all. When everything around you says, no, you won't, your divinity awakens you into a prodigal son or daughter moment, and you realize, yes, I am. Yes, I can. Now, breathe that in. And so it is. Senior Minister, Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Baltimore, Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson has frequently been referred to as a Renaissance man. One look at his resume and the reason becomes clear. As a lifelong learner with a passion for self-development, personal transformation, transmutation, and self-awakening, he lives his bliss as a teacher, mentor, speaker, minister, and so much more. His mission is to live, move, and be an active, which is an acronym, authentic, compassionate, transparent, inspired, vibrant, and empowered member of society who serves to educate, elucidate, emancipate, awaken, and empower people and communities. Rev, the floor is yours.
Namaste and greetings, everyone. So if we are ready to dive in, I don't hear you.
Ready.
I hear Tracy. Okay, she said you're ready, so let's go.
Let me see.
So let's go. Unconditional love is powerfully committed to a holy, holy revolutionary act that exudes grace, compassion, and boldness. Science of Mind and Spirit is a revolutionary, radical evolutionary teaching that positions us at the leading edge of global transformation, and those who engage in it at that level walk the walk by balancing both love and law. Sounds good, doesn't it? But
Yes.
How it sounds and what it looks like are two very different things. So come with me for a moment as we venture into the average American living room as the family enjoys watching television, when all of a sudden they find out the revolution will not be televised. Oh my, what tends to happen? Any number of things jump into somebody's mind when you mention this word revolution, right? In one mind, you have this idea of, oh my goodness, revolution means war, because there was the Revolutionary War. Yeah, you got the concept. But in the other mind is the idea of, now it's time for change. Now it is time for us to turn once again, to shift, to grow, to evolve. Is that an easy thing to do? No. Is that a comfortable thing to do? Very often not. And yet, this teaching, that is what the teaching is about. Being open at the top is about ever evolving, ever growing, ever shifting, ever becoming more and more and more of the truth of who and what we are. Ernest Holmes says, the spiral of life is upward. Now, I know many times we say things like going down the rabbit hole, you know, things like that. But what if we can spiral up the rabbit hole?
Okay.
I mean, if you're going to really think about Alice in Wonderland, I mean, she took one bite and she got big. She took another bite, she got small. Like, there's in the land of, why can't we spiral up the rabbit hole? Why couldn't Neo, because I believe that he actually did, spiraled up the rabbit hole and woke up? So let's go back to Ernest. Evolution carries us forward, not backwards. So yeah, no, I'm segueing again. So when we say when the pandemic is done, we want to get back to normal. Oh, I almost said bad words. No, there is no going back to normal. No matter how hard you try. Let's make America What again? Say what? No, that's backwards looking. If we are truly an evolutionary teaching and we are being at the cutting edge of, then it is always forward. So when the pandemic is done, it is a new forward. Everything that we are moving, living, and having our beingness is part of this upward spiral, this evolutionary impulse moving us forward to the next greater yet to be, not the yesterday's greatest yet to be, yet to was, yet to what I don't even, because it makes no sense. Back to Ernest. Eternal and progressive expansion is its law, and there are no breaks on its continuity. It seems to me that our evolution is the result of unfolding consciousness of that which already is and needs but to be realized to become fact in everyday life. It already is. Spirit already is. All we need to do is recognize it. We need to embody it. We need to embody what already is. In the same way that you can tell someone, you are such an amazing dancer, but until they embody it, they're not going to do it. You can tell someone, you're an excellent singer, but until they embody it, they're not going to sing. You are such an amazing demonstration of the infinite I am, but until we embody it, it's just a statement. So let me ask you a question, speaking about everyday life. We've all been here in one shape or form. We've all been at a supermarket or a corner bodega or something where we were shopping and buying, produce or condiments or something. We were buying something in the grocery store. But when we go shopping, how do we shop? Do we shop the way some people shop, where they come in the store and they hit each and every aisle, working methodically through? Or some go, I know exactly what I'm here to get. Tracy and I don't shop that way because we go to the store with 3 things on the list and we come out with 33. But anyhow, I digress. When you shop, what determines what you buy? Are you shopping based upon the nutritional value of what you're getting, the health benefits of it, the taste of it, the cost and value? Are you shopping based upon the name or the brand? Are you shopping based upon, well, what I want isn't available, so I'll get this other thing? Are you shopping because you are a customer who has used Maxwell House? I've been a Maxwell House coffee drinker since I was 5. I am very comfortable with Maxwell House. I don't like Folgers. I don't like Sanka. It's not my thing. I'm not comfortable with those flavors, right? But anyhow, what do you shop based upon? Because we've often said, how you do any one thing is how you do everything. Well, if that's the case, then let's ask the question, so when it comes to love, how do you love? Because if you're shopping based upon certain criteria, do you love based upon what's good for you? Do you love based upon what's healthy for you? Do you love based upon the taste? And pump your brakes. When I say taste, I'm saying some people say, you have great taste in people. I'm not talking to, watch it. You have great taste in people. Or, yeah, I'm one of those people who always picks the wrong, because some people say, I gravitate toward, why do I always get those folks who are, the bad boys or the bad girls or is it based upon your taste? The cost. What is the cost of being in that relationship? What is the value of being in that relationship? What is the value of loving the way that you love? Is there a name or a brand? This is my boo. This is my polyamorous relationship people. Is it based upon what you call it? Like, you don't really love the person, but you like what it's called. It's called relationship. It's called marriage, but are you really married? Or are you just in a partnership for convenience? You know what I'm saying? How do you love? Do you love based upon availability? Well, who I want isn't available, so I'll take the next best thing or the next something. Or do you love based upon comfort? I just love because I can't be alone. I don't like being alone. How we do one thing can very well be how we do everything. Because if it's all spirit and it's all a spiritual practice, then literally, if God is all there is and what it is each of us is, then everything we do, when looked at through the lens of it's God shopping, it's God out on a date, then how does God show up? How does God see itself in this, whatever it is, this shopping experience, this dating experience, this romantic experience, this friendship, this whatever it is? How do you love? And when you say love, what are we talking about? Because there are a variety of ways that we can express or feel love. Eros, romantic or sexual love. Many will be in a sexual relationship and they'll say, I love this person, but is that specifically the kind of love you are referring to? Or are you willing to say, I have unconditional love, agape. My love is without bounds. I don't put conditions or limits on it. I love you simply because. So when we think of love, keeping in mind that at the bottom of this chart, there is mania, obsessive love, because from that comes jealousy, because you are obsessed with the idea of, you are obsessed with a feeling of, and therefore it causes a mania, which we know to be, root word for maniac, one who is out of their minds for X, Y, and Z reason. So it's very beneficial for us to be mindful of. I love going bowling, Tracy. Where is that on there? Oh, ludus, to play, to have fun, love that is exciting. So while we may say, but that's not really love. If you love bowling, but actually it is, it can be. It is a category of the broad scope of how love can show up. And the question is always, because love it's God, it's all there is. But the question is, how are you feeling, expressing, utilizing that? Are you utilizing it in a healthy manner? Because you can eat vegetables or you can eat cake 7 meals a day. It's breakfast, lunch, dinner, and it's my 4 snacks. Is that going to benefit you in the way that you want? Or is it an unhealthy way of expressing? No matter how, if Sahffi gave me her guitar for a moment and I start strumming, I'm in some way, shape, or form, I'm hitting the same chords per se that she plays. But the way I'm doing it, it's still sound, but is it musical? Is it melodic? Or is it more chaotic? In the hands of someone who is skilled at love, love encompasses all, love transforms, and love builds and inspires. But in the hands of someone who is selfish and stingy and self-absorbed and fearful, love becomes a weapon of destruction, because then you want to hurt. And I know many would say, but that's not really love. But if God is all there is and love is all there is, then it's love being used in the most ineffective, unhealthy way possible, because love must be present. God is present, so love must be present. And I know that's possibly a very uncomfortable idea to think that it's there, but it has to be there. God is there. Then love has to be there. Now, how they're expressing it in any given moment, how are we expressing God? Anyone who is racist, God must still be there. Sexist, God must still be there. But how are they tuning in and tapping into it? They're still using the same law of mind and action. But what are they using it to build or create or to destroy and damage? It's still there. So when we talk about this thing called love, once again, there's this idea of, well, if I'm using it and I want to use it more effectively, then how am I using it? How am I communicating? Which of the love languages which ones do I want to be communicated when someone as the receiver, but also am I willing to communicate to others using them as well? How aware am I of what it means to words of affirmation? That's when we give compliments, when we affirm someone, when we say something nice. Actions that you can take that are part of words of affirmation, sending people notes or cards or a text simply to say, thank you, I appreciate you, I love you, or anything that you want to say. But also using that same power, same love language in a way that is detrimental, less life affirming, is to afford or offer criticism, condemnation, and judgment. So if we're going to really, really get into a practice, then it benefits us to know the tools and then one by one engage them. Because otherwise, are we really giving love to another the way that we could? Are we really receiving love to the degree or the way that we could? Because if not, then we're giving it based upon conditions. What am I going to get in return for giving this Christmas gift? What am I going to get in return for telling them that I appreciate them? I'm only complimenting you because I want you to give me a compliment back. Then was your compliment selfless? Was it compassionate? Or was it simply part of a chess game where you are moving your love in an opportunistic way to get what you want? Then there's, what do they want from me? So I keep you at bay. No, I'm good. I don't need help. I'll do it on my own. Because if you come in, then you want something. No. Keep your compliments, keep your gifts. Because the moment you give me a gift, it means you want something. No, what do you want from me? But what happens when we embody love itself? It simply says, spread me, give me, receive me, be me, embody me, live as me. When we embody love, there is no thought for who gets what, how gets how, who, when, where, why, which. Love simply is. And it is an empowered beingness with no thought of, what do I get in return? What is the selfishness of this? It simply says, yes, I am. So for a moment, let's imagine that you are being interviewed, microphone in hand, and someone says, there's this thing called a world that works for all. There's this idea of love. In your opinion, what is the role of love, or what do we need in the world to shift and bring peace and joy into the world? Some would say, what the world needs now is love, sweet love. Tracy's shaking her head. She's like, Tracy says, Sahffi, you need to give me singing lessons. But some would say that's what the world needs. It needs love, and it needs more of it. Yeah, actually, no, because then that implies that there is more love to give. And there isn't more love because there is no more of God to give. God is all there is. Love is all there is. Question is, are we acknowledging it and living from that? And some, the sarcastic folks or the pessimistic folks would say, what's love got to do with it? Like, what is that going to do? Love? Because I'm not trying to love thy enemy. No, I really don't want to love my enemy. That's why I call him my enemy. Because enemy is synonymous with get out my house. Tracy's like, yep. So what does love have to do with it? And when we're talking about a world that works for all, who's this all? Because the all includes the racist, the sexist, the homophobe, the neo-Nazi. Why would I ever want to create a world that works for them? I don't. But see, when we recognize and understand that love is the thing, then there is no more need for there to be a neo-Nazi, a KKK member, a hate monger, a warmonger. There's no need for them anymore, because what we know is that hurt people hurt people. But when everyone has been elevated to this place where their needs are met, they feel included, then there is no more need to be in the gang called KKK. There is no more need to be in the gang called apartheid. That gang mentality that excludes no longer has a place, no longer has a paradigm from which to grow. It's gone extinct. But the question once again is, how are we embodying this? How are we becoming this embodiment of a revolutionary kind of love, an evolutionary kind of love? Coming to you live from the studio audience, Kate says, today at the Center for Spiritual Living, it has been identified as a site, of massive evolving consciousness, a demonstration of, Tracy. CSL Greater Baltimore is the site of, they have witnesses who have witnessed a massive demonstration of evolving consciousness, which has shifted the region, right? And witnesses report random acts of kindness, random acts of love, random acts of compassion. That's why it's in quotation marks, random. She's a news person, Tracy. She doesn't come to CSL Greater. She might after this, because Tracy said random. There's nothing random. But she doesn't know that, Tracy, right? She's a news person, right? But she's going to learn because she's going to show up. And there's no sign of this vibration slowing down. It is going global. But it only does this when we, because there is no CSL Greater Baltimore without us. There is no CSL without us. There is no demonstration of this love without us. So how are we embodying it? How are we showing up as that? Howard Thurman says, a strange necessity has been laid upon me to devote my life to the central concern that transcends the walls that divide and would achieve in literal fact what is experienced as literal truth. Human life is one, and all people are members of one another. And this insight is spiritual, and it is the hard core of religious experience. Are we willing to remove walls, boundaries, borders in our consciousness that identifies someone as other to such a degree that we are unwilling to extend love? In our consciousness, extend love. Radiate the energy of love. Ho'oponopono doesn't mean you walk up to your disgruntled neighbor because they don't like the wind chimes in your tree. And so Ho'oponopono doesn't say you go knock on their door. Hello, Tracy? Yes. Tracy says, yes. I just want to say, I love you. Forgive me. I'm sorry. And boom, at which time Tracy's not even gonna let you finish. She'd be like, boom, the door's closed. What are you talking about? You come over to my house talking about something. I love you, forgive me, I'm sorry. Boop. She said, I really wouldn't open the door. So I'm going ho'oponopono through the door then. And she'd be like, go 9-1, I'm telling you now. Are we willing to open the door in our consciousness to extend, because Ho'oponopono doesn't need to be said to the person. It is a practice that I engage in, that we engage in this moment, that radiates the energy out into the world, that causes the vibration to move up through the earth itself, because it's all God. So creating a ripple in one area of the pool that we are all in affects all of the water that we are all in. Creating a ripple in consciousness, no matter where we are, ripples throughout all of consciousness. There is only one mind. But we have to be willing to create waves. We have to be willing to do the work that requires us to be different in the world. Octavia Butler says, all that you touch, you change. All that you change, changes you. The only lasting truth is change that spiral up, the evolutionary impulse that moves us forward. So in this idea of what it means to be a revolutionary love, to spiral up, to step into this brand of love, are we willing? Because the moment you say yes, that energy causes someone else to say yes. And where two or more are gathered in the power of, then others say yes. And then others say yes, until such time as it's a world that works for all. So while the revolution may not be televised on the television set, the revolution is televised by how each of us chooses to live our lives. The revolution is televised by how you choose to live. And even more empowering than that is recognizing that the revolution is demonstrated by how you live. The revolution, the radical evolution of spirit, is demonstrated by how each of us chooses to live, how we embody it. Ernest Holmes said in the book, Can We Talk to God? If we make ourselves receptive to the idea of love, then we become lovable. To the degree that we embody love, we are love. Now, we're it anyway, but to the degree that we embody it, it vibrates in a completely different way. In the same way that the dancer who knows she can dance, the singer who knows she can sing, but doesn't do it, it's still there. The voice is still there. The dance is still there. The song is still there. But the moment they embody it, they become the song. They become the dance. This is why people who love are loved. It does not pay to hate. Hate is a human idea. Love is a divine truth. Love is a divine verity. Love is, capital T, truth in expression. This week's practice, we are invited to journal or ask ourselves, what would it mean for me to practice a revolutionary kind of love? What would that mean for me to practice it? What does that kind of love invite me to be and to do in the world? Where is one place this week that I can be more loving to myself, to be more loving to my friends, to be more loving to my family, to my community? Where can I communicate and ask for what I want regarding our love languages? Where can I ask for? Where can I be bold enough to say, you know what? One of my love languages is words of affirmation. You know, it would be great to hear you, because I know you do great things for me, like you buy me gifts and stuff. I appreciate that. But can you remind me verbally or in writing, like, are we willing to ask for what we want? Remembering in the Bible, there's a passage that says, you have not because you ask not. Part of being revolutionary is asking for what you desire and asking for what you deserve. And then lastly, have a conversation with two people about where in my life have I done this in the past, or where in my life am I doing this now? What currently withholding giving, or currently withholding the ability to receive love? Where have I done that in the past? Where might I be doing that in the present? Where do I feel like love betrayed me? Or where do I feel like love saved me? Just have a conversation about it. Once again, no criticism, just converse and express. And as always, if anybody wants copies of the slides or anything, just let Tracy know and she'll make sure you get them. Today's declaration, our affirmation of truth. I will say it first and then together. I am an ambassador of revolutionary love. Together, I am an ambassador of revolutionary love. Breathe that in as we prepare the stage for someone who we all recognize and know is this. Sahffi is an ambassador of revolutionary love. Her very presence, every note that she plays and every note that she sings, just the way that she shows up in a space is a demonstration of this. So let's put our hands together as we welcome our hearts and our minds and our beings to our beloved Sahffi Lynne.
Oh, thank you so much, Dr. Reverend Raymont. Oh, that was so great and wonderful compliment at the end. Thank you so much. And I just want to tell you really quick, my song Live in Love that I played at the beginning of this service, and many of you know because I've shared often, was written for my child. The video is out today, so just go to my YouTube channel and I'd love for you to check it out. Renuka's in there with her puppy, but I had a lot of people send photos of them and their children. And I can't get through it without crying because it's such beautiful love. You can feel it. So this song I wrote just to celebrate love. So in our tradition, we say aho instead of amen or namaste. We say aho. So I invite you to sing along because we say, let me hear you all say aho. I want to hear you all say aho. I can hear you in my heart. Here we go. Love waits, it is patient and it is kind. Love aches for your heart to find its way to mine. When it's out of balance, we know. When we allow it, we flow. Love is the only cure. Of this we can be sure. Love is the only way. Let me hear you all say aho. In this community, for the love shown us from Dr. Reverend Raymont Anderson and Tracy, put so much love and caring into these moments, these mornings, and all the love to the mothers on Mother's Day. And if we have a difficult relationship with our mother, or if our mother's in heaven, we send them love too, and we send love to our Mother Earth. Aho. Love knows it is sacred, it is divine. Love slows the beating of hearts and time. When it's out of balance, we know. When we allow it, we flow. Love is the only cure. Of this we can be sure. Love is the only way. Let me hear you all say, ah, oh. Let me hear it. Ah, oh. Oh, yeah. Ah, love is, that is all that it wants to be. Love's bliss is inside of you and inside of me, inside of everybody. Love is the only cure. Of this we can be sure. Love is the only way. Let me hear you all say, ah, oh. Ah, oh. Ah, Aho, friends, live in love. Thank you so much.
And we breathe that in. Aho. Simply breathing in the gratitude, the joy, the power, and the truth that Sahffi just shared with us. So at this moment, as a beloved community, we recognize that we are right now in that divine creative state as we create, demonstrate, manifest, whatever word works for you, our right and perfect next and new, spiraling upward, location for our beloved community to call home, our next right address. And recognizing that everything that we have visioned as a community and everything that we have donated and tithed is moving us in that direction, but also recognizing that it first begins in consciousness. It begins in how we embody and how we envision and how we speak about, think about, feel about what this community is, what it offers, what we give to it, and what we receive from it. And so we first stand in appreciation and gratitude for all of the tithes and donations. We stand in gratitude for the practitioner corps that has pledged, that has challenged themselves to match, to meet $25,000 by the end of the year. Thus far, and this is on top of their regular tithing, thus far, as of May 4th, it's 2525. How fitting. That's how much the practitioners have pledged thus far. The community thus far, matching the $25,000 thus far, is $600. So we stand in gratitude, recognizing that the tithes and the donations are given to where we are spiritually fed, and also where we recognize that there are light bills and rent, and et cetera, et cetera. So we recognize that we are part of this infinite process that keeps this community moving, thriving, and growing. Now, you may be wondering if you are new. If you're not new, then you already know how to do this because you've already been doing it. But for those who may be joining us for the first time, live and in person here now, or YouTube later, You have multiple ways to donate: PayPal, text to give, or the postal mail service. You can divide a portion of your tithe or donation. Part of it can go to the new building fund. Part of it can go to educational scholarships. Part of it can go to hospitality. Like, it can be divided in multiple ways. If you ever want more information or you have questions, feel free to go to our website, cslgreaterbaltimore.com/give, or reach out to any of the Board of Trustee members or practitioners for your answers. Today, let us declare our financial wealth and abundance as a community. And if we are ready, breathe it in and let us go. I joyfully, consciously, and gratefully participate in the law of circulation. I trust in the spiritual principle that says, as I sow into my beloved community, I demonstrate my awareness of standing not only in the flow, but as the flow itself. As I sow of myself, my time, my treasure, my talent, I demonstrate my support and engagement in my community's vision, mission, and purpose. I actively give as a demonstration of manifesting, of reaping the harvest of a world that works for all. And we breathe. We breathe, recognizing that this infinitude of spirit of source of the galaxy and university and universes in multiplicity are the very demonstration of who and what we are. There is no lack in, there is no scarcity in God. And so what it is, we must be. Aho. What it is, we must be. Aho. What it is, we must be. Tracy says,
make today be awesome.
Make today be awesome. That's not really
be awesome today.
Be awesome today. Make today be awesome. Well, that, hey, make today be awesome. Because if you are awesome today, then by your embodiment of your awesomeness, you are vibrating in such a way that every step you take makes the ground a vibratory match of awesomeness. So the next person that steps in that same footprint feels their own awesomeness. That same doorknob you touch or that same shopping cart you touch makes the next person resonate with the truth of their being. So yes, make today be awesome by being awesome yourself. Today for prac duty, because we have no practitioners on duty today, if there are any prayer requests, be sure to send them to info@cslgreaterbaltimore.org, and we will make sure that you are matched with a practitioner. And if you don't necessarily want one-on-one prayer, then just know that the Prac Corps is always praying for requests that come in. And so we breathe in gratitude, recognizing that the infinite power and presence of spirit must be right here and right now. So as Sahffi said, no matter what kind of relationship you may have had or are currently having with your biological mom, your adoptive mom, your surrogate mom, however she shows up, recognize that this energy of mom, this energy of life, this energy of the divine feminine, this energy of Mother Earth is the very energy that is still you. You get to choose. So as we close service, recognizing that in this moment, no matter what the relationship with mom, we send them love. If we ourselves are moms, we embody the love that we receive from not only our biological children, our children of choice, but we embody love to such a degree that the earth itself sings out, recognizing the divinity of Mother Earth. And that Mother Earth returns to us the same mental equivalent of love, and that Mother Earth takes care of us as well, that the infinite Mother Spirit cares for itself as us, so that every flower and every song, every heartbeat, every prayer is a prayer of joy and gratitude for this life that is eternal and infinite. It doesn't get much more revolutionary than that. And so it is. Namaste and blessings, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. You are loved. Take care.